When Halo Infinite first came out, I used to make a lot of skill jump content, and it was always this love-hate dynamic where I loved the jumps, loved showing them to people, and then 343 would watch the video, and they didn't like it so much, which made things kind of complicated because I would show cool jumps, and then people would learn them, and then weeks later, miraculously, they're patched out of the game. And then I'm stuck here contemplating whether or not it's a good idea to have shown it in the first place. And then fast forward to 2025, and Halo Studios are adding skill jumps to Halo Infinite. We have gone full circle, ladies and gentlemen. Pinch me, is it real?
But
jumps.
Really, they can make some impactful moments in games. Like you see the one in Crash, I think was my favorite.
Yeah,
another route into the base.
Hold on.
Flag,
we're adding jumps.
Bomb, and just different lines of sight on recharge, like you see here.
This is a really big one too.
Yeah. Like
these are crazy. Something happened. They turned over a new leaf, and I'm not complaining. But we're going to break down all these new skill jumps today, talk about how they change gameplay and why they were added in the first place, because not every skill jump is created equal. You could tell that Halo Studios had some thoughtful intention behind these ones. I know these jumps are a very small part of a much larger update that now that I've had some time to play, I'd like to share my thoughts on, but for now, just stay tuned. We're going to start here. If you want callouts for Origin, I have added a callout guide in YouTube Shorts. Let me know what you think of this format. I hope you guys like it. And if you do, then you should also like, comment, and sub to the channel. This is the way. We have a new panel on the wall here thanks to Halo Studios. They put this physical ledge that you can sit, stand on, and then jump off of to get up to top gold. It's a very straightforward jump. You just jump and hold crouch to get on the panel and then jump to gold. It's a forced clamber if you approach the jump in this way. Remember that every time you're forced into a clamber, you could always throw a nade beforehand. So this gives us a new grenade angle into gold. Let's say if we're trying to break it, somebody's at the doorway. And remember that if a nade banks off the floor, that's when the detonation timer starts. If I throw it in the air, the det timer is not going to start till it hits the floor, right? So if I want the fastest possible explosion, I nade the floor, clamber, and ideally arc it in a way that banks like right around the corner of the door. This is a smart jump though. So bravo to the devs who put this in. This area of the map is a choke point, right? Like either you're forced to fly through the top gold hallway, tight hallway, or you got to run through this tight staircase. We've got a third option where we could potentially surprise somebody in gold, and it's not without risk, right? Like if somebody's in Whirlpool, top A, top tower, we're dying for free as we're trying to hit this jump. There's a couple other nerdy ways to finesse this area of the map too. I don't think this stuff was intentional. This area, this spot was popularized by Broward. It's just a ledge that you can jump into from the top of gold, which is great to finesse somebody. It used to be way harder to hit this ledge, but for reasons I don't fully understand, map collision has changed over time in Halo Infinite, and certain ledges that were inaccessible or very difficult to hit have become larger and easier to hit. And there's ledges like this all over Recharge as well that you're seeing more and more pros take advantage of, like the one over the top of Turbine we're seeing a lot more often. This is cool though. It adds some flexibility to this depending on the situation. If somebody's in long haul, you might have an option to like quickly get above and finesse them, let's say. You'd think you could camp up here. Good luck. You can't see much, and they can see your legs and shoot you for free, right? So not the greatest spot to stay for too long unless somebody's directly below. You have to repetitively jump because the ledge is so small, you're going to slip off. And then there's a third way to navigate this too. This is another ledge that I'm not sure was intentional. It's like on the outer corner right here. Jump, hold, crouch, land on it, and then jump, hold, crouch again. And there's a way to skip your clamber up to top gold. This jump is very tricky, and it takes longer to perform, but it keeps your gun free, so you can shoot the whole time, which is pretty sick. I find that if I jump, hold, crouch, and then release the crouch button just before I land, so I'm doing a full jump from a stand position, right? So jump, hold, crouch, release before you land, jump, hold, crouch, release before you land. Do it 3 times. Take some finesse, right? The ultimate version of this jump would be to, like, imagine like taking a fight whirlpool and pinpointing this would be extremely difficult to do. Because that little ledge, yeah, that little ledge is so tiny, and you have to fade forward to hit it properly. Also, any physical ledge that I can reach from the ground, I can slide off of as well, right? So it's not just about the skill jumps for me. It's like, can I slide off it? Which, for the record, doesn't make any sense. Like, it's hard to find a genuine situation to do this properly, but if you go out on a diagonal, land on it, and then sprint out diagonal, time slide, you can, you know, finesse something, or maybe drop on it from above. And then they added a second panel here as well. Halo Studios just breaking their own rules, right? This one's pretty cool. This panel is very small. Like, you can sit on it as well, but you want to make sure that you approach it on like sideways or backwards. This sort of slows your aerial momentum, I find. Instead of going straight at it, there's a chance you could fall. See how I fell? So just jump, hold, crouch, and like turn sideways in the air so you can sit on it. And then if you jump straight up, this is jutting out, and it'll bump you away if you hug into the wall too tightly. Bumps you off, right? So you have to sort of space yourself away from the wall before you jump so that you don't bump it on the way up. I recommend just like taking your time a little bit. Try not to do it too quickly so it's easier. And then right about here, this specific spot, there's like a physical ledge that you can land on and jump off of. To hit this jump from safety, it's tricky. There's a like little tiny ledge there, which again, I don't think this was intentional. It's on both sides. This is a physical ledge too, so you could technically curb slide off of that, I guess, right? Kind of neat. Good jump though. You could definitely use this to get out of a tight spot or even find like a sneaky angle on long haul. Once you're up here, sprint off, late jump as late as you can, hold crouch in the air, and then land on this ledge for another sneaky spot too. On Forbidden, they've added a branch coming out the wall that lets you get up to this window. This is actually super convenient. This area was not accessible before, and it's another choke point on the map where it can be very difficult to break out of this section of the map. You got somebody sitting up here, somebody, you know, set up in hut with a sniper. We've all been in this situation where we're just getting spawn killed. It's nice to just have another alternative to navigate this area of the map, which can be used both offensively and defensively. It's an easy jump. You just sprint, jump, and clamber. It's not about the difficulty as much as it is about the risk reward of something like this, right? You don't want to spend too much time in an area like this on the map. It's very vulnerable, very exposed. If you do happen to miss the jump, then you're screwed. For the most part, you're in an area you don't want to be. The fact that it's there just gives you new alternatives. Like, you can skip the clamber if you approach it this direction, right? Because of its position, you can actually curb slide off it. Like, sprint, time, slide, and fly off to get to this ledge more quickly. And then from the branch, you can jump back to this window as well if you hit it precisely. And then it also just like opens up flexibility for you to hit routes that weren't an option before. So like if I'm here, I can curb slide like that and then get up to the window quickly now, right? Or if I'm sliding off the Mohawk through center map, like just ways to get to, you know, important points of the map more quickly, more seamlessly. One problem with this jump that I know has been talked about is it's not symmetrical. It's harder to hit on this side of the map, this green, like blue side of the map or whatever, than the other. It's the same branch, I think. It's just the position and the angle is different. It's like angled up like this and not down diagonal towards you, making it easier to hit on the other side and almost impossible to hit with a flag. So I hope they fix this. It's unfortunate that this made it through QA because while this isn't the safest, most effective way to run a flag, it's pretty freaking cool. And I'd love to see that in a tournament, or at least, you know, to be able to interact with the jump in the same way that we're used to on the other side. It should just be fair and symmetrical. On Aquarius, we got another new panel right here that you can use to jump up to the window. This also connects you to a slide option. So you can technically start a flag run this way, right? Run it to the util. So a pretty cool way to come through P-side. Of course, we don't typically see players come through P-side to start a flag run in pro play because you want the enemy spawning in the fridge behind you. But if you do ever have to overextend, it's just a new alternative way to fight in this area. It's good for Slayer. It's really good for Assault as well because this is where they're planting the bomb. So very convenient addition. I like it. You can also just sit on the button as well. Like you could be like in a fight with somebody in the door and then like sit here temporarily and wait and decide what you want to do. Obviously, make sure you're watching car and out in the courtyard because you could still be attacked. It's a shame that you can't seem to skip this clamber in any way. It'd be nice if there was like a tiny bit of collision or just something to, you know, add a skillful way to skip the clamber. Other than that, I mean, you can slide off the button too. Tricky to do. You have to land on it and nick it as you fall from crouch. Release crouch in the air and then sprint curb slide like as you hit it. And lastly, we have streets. They added this big electrical box right here to streets that you can use to jump clamber up to this ledge, which of course also connects to a series of slides if you know how to use them effectively. This also is slide height as well, I guess, so you can slide off it too. Very easy to jump on top of, jump, hold, crouch. It would be nice if there was some way to skip the clamber up to here. There used to be collision on this ledge here, and I missed that because it would make for a really seamless crouch jump to here and then up again. Would have been nice to see that. There's also this very odd set of jumps around the wall that I did in the video, but it's not practical. Right here, like on top of the pipe, like somewhere in this specific area. Jump, hold, crouch, and then like release it and land on it. And it's possible to land on this and then travel along the wall, which you can do from here too. Sprint, jump, hold, crouch, and then land on this and jump off the wall. Now that I know this, like it doesn't really make sense to come in that way. Walk off late jump and then land and keep jumping on this wall. Like if you're challenging out for camo or you're challenging out the purple street, but don't want to like full commit, that's pretty cool. I think if you can get that down consistently, I think I'm going to start using this in my own gameplay. And that's it. Hopefully short, sweet, and helpful video for anyone that wants to give those jumps a try. If you want longer form content from me, I recommend you check out my Patreon. Big thank you to all my Patreon subscribers. I appreciate you guys. I've just added a new video to the platform on winning 1v1s, on mentality and practice that I think is really helpful for anyone trying to grind to Onyx. So go feel free to give that a check. And again, to anyone supporting my content through Patreon or signs up for coaching, it all means a lot. It allows me to keep doing what I'm doing, making these Halo videos, which if you want more of it, it's right here. This is the way.